All right. Ooh, okay. It's game one. I don't know what happened. I haven't watched any highlights. This is fresh out of the gate. So, first things first. I always like to look up matchups, how we expect things to go. So, Cho'Gath and a Malphite. Cho'Gath is a little bit favored. Malphite can definitely poke out, and Malphite Jhin actually has a lot of pressure to kill a Cho'Gath. Moving into jungle matchup, Jin Zhao versus Vi. I think Vi wins that, but it's a skill matchup and how healthy you are in your clear. Jin Zhao is a little bit healthier than Vi, depending on what happens, but Vi has a pretty healthy clear. I think Vi has a little more early pressure. They're basically mirror champions. They kind of accomplish the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and pause. Mid lane, Cass into Victor. That's a wave clear matchup. Victor outranges Cassiopeia, so it's a safer pick into it. If Cassiopeia can manage to freeze the wave right about here, I guess I should open up Epic Pin while I have the chance. If Cassiopeia can freeze the wave right about here, control vision in one of these side brushes. Get this out of the way. We don't need to draw. Freezing the wave right about here, and forcing the Victor to try and break the freeze or farm unsafely in the middle of this lane, then they can actually manufacture some ganks. But especially after 6, Victor could just wave clears for free, and so Cass is motivated to more shove the wave and get a slight tempo advantage, especially on a cannon wave, because that's the only one that he can't instantly clear without burning his ultimate. Bot lane, Caitlyn, Sivir, excuse me. Alistar is a traditional counter to Leona. Whenever she E's, you just pulverize and then either headbutt her back under tower or walk away. So you just kind of time your pulverize well, and it's very difficult for Leona to play the game. If she manages to get on Sivir, even though with the spell shield, if she manages to get on Sivir, you just headbutt her out of the dash and then knock her up and walk away. It's very difficult for Leona to play in that lane, so I don't know, pick some bans, but that's a good answer if the person can pilot. Alistar, Caitlyn into Sivir. Sivir is actually really annoying. Traps get defeated very easily by Sivir. Granted, it's a high cooldown, but it is just annoying to play against Sivir in general. And if she goes to Duskblade, Manamune, or what have you build, Sorrel's Grudge, super annoying. Okay, so bot lane probably doesn't have shove. They have decent ganks, especially with Jin Zhao. She only has one spell shield after all, so if Leona can actually bait the engage, and then everybody else can kind of jump on the face of the overcommitting Alistar, depending on if you W Qs or QWs, or just jump on the Sivir. We'll see what happens. Looking for level 1 shenanigans, so I'm fast forwarding. I'm just looking at the minimap right now, right? I'm inferring what's happening from the game state, so easy breakout. I'm literally just watching down here. I don't care what's happening. See where the jungles start. Nothing fancy. Mid laners actually are pretty well mirrored. Cool. I like to zoom out just a little bit. Control Shift Z if you're respected. So let's watch this laning phase real quick. We'll just sit mid and watch laning phase. Oh, pause. Oh, it's back. Okay. So little trades, nice Qs, taking the E's. These are pretty much undodgeable. Did we get that cannon? Nice, we did. We got all the CS, very good. CS now. Okay. So when we go watch bot lane and top lane, yeah, Cho'Gath's a real bully into this matchup because of his passive. You have your shield, but it's like really hard to play the game. So bot lane is already at a slight disadvantage. It's not the end of the world. It just tells us where lane states are going. Cassiopeia went to get a ward. I think this ward, we know that they started bot from the leash. So I think if you're going to ward, you can't really walk past the Victor, he's defending it well, but warding like over here, actually I might zoom out a little bit more. So let's look how Vi gets into the jungle here. So she just goes blue side and then red, right? Let's see if Cassiopeia has a chance to ward, because you don't want to lose XP Good trade, good farming. Right here is your window to ward, but the wave is not in a state, right? We missed the minion here, and then she walked through here. We missed 3 minions to get a ward that gets us nothing. Not to, like, lose the game over 3 minions, but, like, and then she gets the gank off. So, when you know where the jungler, or when you have a good idea where the jungler started, you don't have to ward that side, right? There's no information to give your jungler. So if we're going to take this ward, if we're going to make this play, because that's what it is, but establishing vision is making a play, right? Here is where we choose to leave. So we already can assume, actually, just from pathing, that Vi's on this. I really like this ward right here. If you just ward over the wall. Now, granted, I don't know that you could walk past the Victor. He's low health, though. You could probably force a trade. We have TP. You could probably force him off the wave. Conversely, you can W as Cassiopeia and wave clear, right? You could just burn through your mana, shove the wave, get the ward, and then reset. Not use TP. And at that point, oh, I'm not actually clicked on. At that point, if you're going to go tier, you can just kind of get a cheater back. Oh, you already have tier. Okay, well then maybe that's not the play. But you can also W the wave and wave clear, especially later on. Your other option is to walk up this way and place a ward. If you can't get the Raptors ward, you can ward right here. Here gives you a little more information about this place. This ward right here only gives you about that much vision. This ward right here gives you all of this vision, right? This ward that ends up getting placed is not bad. Depending on the placement, I think the ward right here actually gives you more information than the ward right here, right? That said, this ward doesn't really give you much more information than this ward. So when you're playing mid lane, if you're going to ward on this side, you got to think, do I want vision of the river or do I want vision of this little entrance? Because if I ward here, a good jungler is going to hug the wall, right? So it's just something to think about, especially with ward placement. I'm going to erase all of this and then mark this and about here. Because you can just, as long as you can face check this bush, you can just kind of ward over the wall here, right? If you're able to shove the wave to tower, you can kind of cheat this way and just kind of ward over the wall here. And that gives, I really like an early Raptors ward because junglers love to do this camp, especially AoE clears like Vi. Okay, we're done talking about wards. Let's see what happens. So we left lane. The biggest issue that I think, again, is that 3 CS that we missed. At least the experience, if not the gold. So we're walking up, we're getting baited. Do we juke? Okay, she misses. Get a kill. Do we whiff the flash? That's a good turn either way. We're effectively too far up and they know it. Ooh, she just missed. Just spam me. Where do we flash to? Just away. It's red buff. It's red buff, sadly. Good idea, and if you could have traded the jungler's flash, it's not the end of the world. Another way to play this, wait for her to commit her Q, and then flash over it. So your wave is crashing. It's not in a bad wave state. If you want it to be as safe as possible, right there, you just flash over it. She doesn't have ult, she doesn't have anything. If you commit to just like burn your flash and then control the wave, using your TP to reset, that's another fun thing. That said, I have no problem with furrowing your brow and going 1-for-1. He didn't flash away, he didn't even make an attempt to make an outplay. Sad that we blew the flash there. Sometimes it's better to just die when you know you're dead. But ETPs is not controlling the wave very well. That's fine, that's good for us. Alright, let's look at expenditures here. Sapphire to, we actually bought a lot of AP, okay. So you win the fight. That's, your itemization tells me that you want to fight. you not only are going to get scaling because of kills, but you have Amp Tome. You look at his, he has boots and he has Sapphire Crystal. You don't really care about those early boots. Your Q, 35% move speed, so 10% is 34. You're so fast. You're at 435 if you hit your Q. You're so much faster than him even with boots. So you don't care about boots. Those are wasted stats in this lane. He needs boots to try and dodge your Q, but if you hit a Q, then you're good. Okay, so we ping it missing. We don't have vision. We're face checking. We're fighting. If it gets done, that's nothing in the world. Maybe you can hit a Q there, no big deal. Once we use the first ult, I'll jump to bot lane. Because honestly, like, we can talk about macro. We can do everything else as the game goes on, but the most important thing, I think, for us is getting out of laning phase. I think if you can have your 2 or 3 champions and just navigate laning phase, then you're going to get out of gold. Like, if you could just win every laning phase. And sometimes win means you don't die and you're down 20 CS, you know what I mean? If you play, like, Vigor into Talon or something, whoa, heavy commits. A little bit of an overcommit. And then we don't have flash here. Okay, so let's look at this play real quick. So here's good. When he flashes, that's it. That's the end of the play. When you get the flash, you don't always have to confirm every single thing. And then we're just kind of autoing. We died because we took 2 tower shots, right? That's a huge amount of damage. It's so sad. So the play here is like, okay, we know Victor has flash because he didn't flash when we killed him last time. So it's a great gank. Nail him with a W. E in. I would argue that you didn't need to W. You didn't need a W there. You're in range to E, just E. And then he flashes and walk away. And then it's the overcommit, the force of the summoner and going for the kill. That's just greedy. Usually when somebody flashes, like, that's good enough. Just temper the aggression, say, okay, we won that fight, we'll come back. You know what I mean? Jin Jiao, just go clear camp and then double right back. Do you have sweeper? You don't have sweeper. Okay. I want to see sweeper on junglers. Like every time. Vision denial for ganks is like the most important thing. And then actually, the monster just says Eulalia goes in, W over the wall, miss the smite, pick up the smite, no flash. Trying to fight, but it commit the TP. It's a 5v1, so probably not ideal. Aftershock Cho'Gath in the Malphite? What? Okay, we'll talk about top play in a second. So we haven't ulted yet. So the laning phase ends with that first ult. Let's see. We're just farming. Can we make a play? I don't like it. Who wants me for? Bless you in there. Still farming. It's fine since he has skirmish 3v1. I mean, he gets those solo kill. Q. Where's the ult? RF. It's fine. Level 8, no ult. That's an issue in and of itself. If you have a Dark Seal and you're level 8 and you have an ulted, I'm shaking my finger at you. Okay, so Jin Jiao's just having a rough time. Down a level. She's just so tanky. What items? Oh, we're going Eclipse, and she's going... Yeah, that's why. She's going Trinity Force, and she's 4 now. Just so much more health, honestly. Can I click on her? She has 1179, or excuse me, 97. Come here. Ah, come back here. Yeah, 200 health. 250 almost, honestly. It's just hard. You have to auto... Wait, how much? You have to auto 2 more times. Just because she has more health than you. I don't know that you're supposed to go Trinity Force on Jin Jiao, but it's just a hard duel. That's what I was saying. I think she wins the matchup just because she does what Jin Jiao wants to do a little bit better. But Xin Zhao is a little bit tankier in fights because the ultimate has more displacement in a different way. Nice. Don't get knocked up. Oh, sidestep that. Ooh, good ult. Nice smite. W hits. That's fine. Then it went the other way. Maybe he was trying to snipe each other too. Big shutdown on the side mount fight. Right here, you see him turn around. That's the animation. Just sidestep. Just go that way. Conversely, another option, since I'm wanting us to ult, he has to turn around to cast Rupture, so you can actually input buffer your ultimate while you're being knocked up and stun him for the duration. You can just like, let's watch it full speed. Sorry, we keep watching Xin Zhao die, but it's okay, of course. Right, when he turns, right now you press R. And then hopefully he doesn't turn away. You might have to catch him on the Rupture, you might have to go earlier. Okay, we got the kill. Oh, the move speed, so clutch. That's a really good escape. Okay, so right here, you have a choice as Malphite. And here's the ult, so we'll swap to another lightning phase. Who do I go on? Let's look at cooldowns. Okay, we didn't. Okay, we have E short enough. We have W. We do have Q. Okay. So right here, I don't know what Aileron is thinking necessarily, but he's like, okay, I can get the kill. Right? He's low enough. I have all my cooldowns basically. I can get the kill. We got the Herald. Right here, I think with the bubble, just ult the carry. Because it was an outplay that... It was an outplay. Wait, is his ult silenced? It was an outplay that barely lived. So it was like a good play overall. But in fives, I don't want us to practice fighting 2 1v1s. I want us to fight 1 2v2. We got away with it here, but just something to think about. Okay, so at about 11 minutes is when we're looking to switch. Okay, since we're talking about Malphite, let's go top next. All right, we're just gonna watch Malphite. There's just a lot of clutter up here. Oh, they get Baron at 23. Alright. What skill did you take level 1? Took Q and Comet, that's fine. Sometimes Grasp is better into this particular matchup. Just because you're like never going to poke him out. That's fine, we missed that CS. Back off so your shield can regen. You didn't take a hit there, that's fine. Almost. Oh, you took a minion auto. Oh, you took 2 minion autos. So your passive reset. And then you didn't. Maybe you DC'd. Okay, yeah, pause that. There's a DC. It cost him 2 CS. Yeah, I don't know Comet in this matchup. But it's what we have, so we'll deal with it. Okay, E second. Okay, if you're gonna auto attack, which I don't know that you should into this many minions, so watch the little exclamation points on these guys' heads. I think you just E. If you're gonna trade, I think you just E. Auto attack. Nice. Do they aggro you? Yeah, so the little caster minions hit you. Bing, bing, bing. It's not the end of the world because you're Malphite, but it's just something to consider. You don't have to take that auto, you don't have to take that trade there. You also don't have to walk up into melee range to Q, but no big deal. Okay, the E didn't hit there, so if we're spending mana and we're not getting CS, we need to make sure that we're hitting him. Now granted, you can make an argument for softening the wave, but I think we just really need to focus on getting CS instead of trading in this particular lane. So that was a great E, that was a good use to get 2 CS. Sad that minion auto didn't help you there. Freeze wave, very good. That's okay to tank. You don't need to press W there. There's no reason. There's no reason to auto that minion down. You see him leaving. Save your mana. Save your mana. Don't just like AFK and hit minions. Again, it's just very difficult to poke him out, so I know the instinct is there, but we'll just farm until 6. Same with Cho'Gath. Like, if we don't die in this lane, it's a win. That was the 1v1 gank. Again, you're just kind of freezing the wave, controlling it. You're controlling it very well. Tower, ooh, I thought that was going to hit it. You're controlling, this is perfect freeze, just talking about mana expenditure in the freeze, right? So I don't think we need that Q, it's not going to accomplish anything. That was useless for him to do that. He's still trying to break the freeze, missed it CS, it's okay. How much mana do we have? There's items. Are we out of? We still have pots, chug a pot, get some mana back. Yeah, and this is where Grasp comes in handy. Because when you're fighting melee with him, you're never going to poke him out with your abilities. You missed that E, that's okay. That was an attempt, and that's fine. We're not going to hit everything perfectly. Miss the CS. I would rather you Q farm than poke him and miss 2 CS. 3 CS, right? Taking a trade in too many minions. The minions are doing way more damage than he is, but good job getting the damage off, especially popping the pot during that trade. That's really good. We did that, which we did. But now we're out of mana, and Cho'Gath will out-sustain us, right? And he's poking us with those local spikes. And if we look at the CS differential, he's up 10, because we've been trying to trade and holding the freeze here, so we've been allowed to farm safely. It's sad that sometimes minions do that. But I just don't think even that Q there, like, my question is, like, what does it accomplish? It just doesn't do enough for us to waste that mana. He's just kind of baiting you into taking fruitless trades. And then out-sustaining you on the wave with his CS, because the Feast passive scales poorly into late game. But 32 health and 4 mana early on is actually huge. So percentage-wise, 32 health is like 8%, I guess. Maybe 7.5%, whatever. But it's huge. Imagine instead, until level 6, it's like, okay, every time you kill a minion, you get 7% of your missing health back. I'm sorry, 7% of your max health back. That's a huge passive, right? The flat numbers betray just how effective it is. He's gonna stop you back. Ooh. I don't know why you didn't just cast rupture, excuse me. Okay, that's fine. He can eat minions. He should eat minions, actually. He's out of mana. He's gonna have to flash. How close are you to 6? Flash E? You could flash E to kill that. Of all the times to cast. Yeah, you were 1 minion from 6 too. Okay, let's see if we can play this a little bit differently. So he's an idiot. Oh shoot, I wound it back too far. TP in. You already used all of your cooldowns. Where's your E? Auto the minion behind you and then ult him. Or like flash and scare him and then ult him. If you just auto that minion, it has 71 health. Yeah, you kill it. So I think that's the play. Get your ult, and like if you wanted to be tricky, because you know he has flash, and you know he's gonna flash that Malphite ultimate. Oh my gosh, I keep. So right here, if you wanted to force the play, good slow. Oh, you got silenced. Okay. But there's actually more damage to give here too. So the W is an auto attack reset. So when you hit him with the Q, that's fine. Hit him with the Q here. Come on. I don't know what he's doing. Q, and then auto attack him, and then W. So you can auto attack and then reset with W. And then he silenced you, that's fine. So you hit him with the E. Then immediately auto attack this minion. And then to bind fuck him, I would say flash, and then force his flash, and then ult him. Otherwise he's just gonna flash your ult. Right. You can even auto that minion. Bro, I'm so sad. It's okay. Just because you were that close to 6. Alright, no worries. No love lost. Opportunity. Window is open, but you didn't get punished for it, so that's good. Good job freezing the wave, not just hitting minions. It's gonna slow push naturally, but like that's really good to control the wave like that. Try not to cast E, but I'm getting farmed. It's fine. Missed that one. That's okay. Doing pretty good. So casting E like that will eventually break the freeze. He didn't even reset. Get the... That's actually 2 times this game that's happened. So right here, get the wave in first. There's 5 minions left to take. And your Malphite. Like, Q him, E, use your W, and then go get the ward. Let's see how many minions, how much XP we miss. 1, 2. And then Vi's there, so it ends up being 3 and 4. They were silly to take this. They should have fought for the freeze, not fought to push you off. And this is this play. And you were coming down, so that's really good. So capitalize on that. Now let's see if we can. We're just looking at ways that we can play things better, regardless of if it's a win or a loss, right? So that's hard. Just get ulted. It's fine. Why not ult right here? Boom. Hit them both. Boom. Hit them both. I like the guarantee focus, but I think your ult has a large enough radius. I don't know that we were able to confirm the kill. Right here. Yeah, you just ult that little right here. Boop. And then it knocks them both up. And then Cassiopeia has another Q, so it's guaranteed on the guaranteed on the Vi, and then we can chase the Vi down with Malphite Q. Up in 4. If she was knocked up, and then Cassiopeia was faster because she hit the Q. But no biggie. We got the kills. We're shoving the wave in. Bot lane somehow rotated mid. Okay, we'll talk about bot lane rotations later. I don't know how that came to be. It's not a bad rotation. They're effectively trading on a higher priority tower, getting plates for free while we're shoving in bot. And since I assume they're a little bit ahead, well, item-wise we're the same pretty much. It's just a trade. And they're betting that they can get more plates mid than bot can get bot. And mid is a better tower to get down than bot tower. So it's actually a pretty heads-up rotation. One person rotating mid might stop that. And this is just... who hits the blast cone? No! He betrayed. He betrayed himself. Darn. And then now we know that they're doing heralds, book them off, jump over the wall, try to get zones, don't get stunned, good positioning, and we're out. Good job. Lose the control ward, that's fine, that's when they're walking back, take a little trade over the wall, maybe not the safest pathing, but not the end of the world. Top lane she's farming, this is where they're rotating down to the herald. We're almost to 11 minutes, this is about when the phase is over. Decent ults. And here's what I was talking about, fight the same fight, right? So queuing the Cho'Gath isn't bad there. I don't think we need flash. Stylistically, might be a difference there, but if you queue him, you're fast. Your movement speed goes up to 4. Like, just walk. Your E might have even been in range. I think that was a cool flash. In that it's unnecessary. Like, yeah, we confirmed it, but like, there's no way she's gonna get away. And then right there, we just now have ultimate, so it feels bad. Ult him, murder him, and you're like, yeah, I have ult now. Let's kill him. But here's where it's like we have the choice, right? Do we fight the same fight and cut? So here's my rationale. From Malphite's perspective, it's a little easier to see. So Brandon, right? Are we stunned in this bubble? Yeah, you ult to get out of it. I think the call here is to choose one. Cho'Gath has 629 health, and he has a little bit of MR. So 629, 42% reduced magic damage. So but you have to do 1,000 damage to kill him, right? If you do 1,000, that's about 60%, a little bit of, you have to do like 950, let's say. To kill him, he has 950, and he has just as much magic resistance. So I actually think Cho'Gath, the heck does he have so much MR? Cho'Gath is the right choice, right? Cho'Gath is the right choice. The positioning of Cassiopeia is the next contest. So in this skirmish, everything's happening so fast, but I want us to think about these things. So we want to take a 2v1. if possible, because the way that these guys are positioned, they're not fighting together, right? So with Cassiopeia's cooldowns, she has ult. So walk into the Cho'Gath. Walk into the Cho'Gath. He doesn't have ultimate. When we get ulted here, Q him and move through him. You even have flash to where you can flash on the other side and get an ult fighting them both this way. So you're baiting. Let's pause. I know I'm spending a lot of time, but this is important because you want to force a 2v1 here. So right there, I think, is when we start moving down. So let's move this up, and then let's move this. Okay. So Cassiopeia's effective range, let's call it this radius, right? It's not a perfect circle. Malphite's effective range is like super short, but with his ultimate, right, you have a pretty decent circle, right? Maybe even like out here. Okay, Victor's range is, I mean, the laser tips out like this far, but he's best from like right here, right? He's a mid-range mage, and so he's best at like that outer circle, right? He can fight in this inner circle, but like he wants to keep you here. Cho'Gath, same kind of thing actually. He can fight you in the width of his abilities, but he's best like actually the inner circle, right? Because he wants to eat you. Now he doesn't have ult here, so it doesn't actually matter, but he also has empowered auto attack. So he's best like he wants to be in here, and Victor wants to be out here. So Victor's premier positioning is actually, I'm gonna do it over the wall so it's not as cluttered, but it's actually right about here, distance-wise, because then his effective range overlaps with Cho'Gath's effective range, right? Now Cho'Gath, the cool thing about circles is he can be here or he can be here. Again, there's a wall here, we're just imagining this is open space. The ideal is that Victor's here, Cho'Gath is here, and then whoever they're fighting is like right here, right? That's perfect positioning. The tank's in front of the carry, and both of them are optimized their effective range. Victor is so far away from this Cho'Gath, and at this point in the game, Cho'Gath isn't acceptable, if not the actual focus, just because he's not tanky yet. And doing the math, you actually have to do about the same. Well, no, you have to do like 250 less damage to Cho'Gath to kill him because of the effective health, right? With the resistances. So Cho'Gath is the right focus. Once we have Malphite ults, which we do right now, I'm going to clear this out of the way so we can actually see. Malphite comes in, ults this guy. Cassiopeia is running away. If you can press Q and then R on this guy is stunned. Let's actually look at the numbers here. This guy's stunned for 2 seconds. That's huge. Even if he step dodges it, you're faster because you got the free guaranteed Q, and then you can start healing and kiting northwest into the Cho'Gath, because the Cho'Gath can't kill you. He doesn't have ult, right? He doesn't have ult. He can't kill you. Conversely, once we see, I moved the circle. Conversely, once we see this Malphite knock him up, you can actually land a Q, go back this way, flash past him, and then if Victor follows with his flash or whatever else, you can R and stun them both. So I want us to focus on fighting the same fight, and then turning what's an advantageous 2v1 into 2 successive 2v1s instead of a 50-50 times 2. 50-50 to me is like a 1v1 that's close, right? This is probably going to win, but this is probably going to lose left alone. Now, if we get a win and a loss, then congratulations, we went even, right? Now, Sneaky Pete, does a wonderful job of actually making it a win, because we won and then we didn't lose, so we netted it. But I want us to practice that mentality of fighting the same fight, because if we can have this 2v2 be successful and then commit his flash and have the next 2v2 be successful, we win everything, and we have the Herald, and it's just such a more dominant victory because we chose to fight the same fight. Okay, let's get back to this. Yeah, Yeah, Cho'Gath also didn't have any cooldowns. And then fantastic job getting away. The RQ is ideal. And that was the RQ mechanic. You just do it over here and try to gun it to where you can fight the same fight. But that's just what I see in retrospect. Really hard to talk about in the moment. Harder to execute, so no worries. Let's watch. Okay. Now remember, this is hard to be aggressive, so top lane and bottom lane both are just like, let's farm and try to outscale and get team fights and manage waves better. So, right off the bat, we both get hit by a Sivir Q in the wave. So, let's talk about Sivir for a second. She wants to hit stuff with her Q. I don't think that's a mind-melting assumption. If she's aiming, she can either aim for minions or she can aim for champions. If she hits minions and champions, that's the most efficient expenditure of the Q. So if you're taking trades, don't stand in the wave. Force her to Q off the wave and miss the minions. That way, at the very least, if you get hit, she doesn't get the shove too. Because in bot lane, rushing to level 2 is super important. She's probably going to Q the wave anyways once she gets into lane. Hitting you is like icing on the cake. Conversely, this item, I don't like using it on the first wave. Level 2 is so important in this lane especially. Level 2 is so important that it's better to execute 2 on the second wave than it is to execute 1 and 1. Okay, that's enough nitpicking. Let's see. There's just like nothing Leona can do, sadly. Even posturing like that, you could be AFK and base, it wouldn't change the lane. Like, it's not your playing, it's just this lane. It's like nothing. And then we don't have minions to execute, we don't have pressure. Did we back off too far for that XP? Hold on. We're watching this pink bar, or this purple bar. Did we miss XP for that? Okay, don't give them that much respect. And then getting hit by both Qs, that's okay. Level 1, we're not respecting, we're fighting in the wave. Okay, so let's look at this happen in real time. So they get level 2 here. We're talking about pauses, maybe it's distraction, whatever else. If we're backing off, get behind the tower. Don't cast your Q there and take hits. Don't go in to maybe proc Aftershock while you're in it, but just back off. There's no reason to take this trade. And they want to take this trade. This is like, hey, we're level 2, they're level 1, let's take a trade, right? There's no reason to be walking up here. You just take half your health, and then that sets the tone for the rest of the lane, because now with Ignite, they can easily kill you. And she's hit 3 for 3 Qs. It's just why it's a stronger lane. Okay, only one pot, not bad. It's gonna engage. You just... Yeah, the wave's gonna crash. Dodges. Yeah, you just have to farm as best as possible and wait for jungle pressure. Oh, that's spicy. But we couldn't hold it, so we ended up taking the minions for nothing. Just something to think about. I like the attempt, though. I like the attempt, actually. She just breaks freezes so easily with her Q. Okay, we can't be in range for that. I don't think we need to heal. Let's watch that again. So we're in bushes. Yeah. Wait, did we even cast E? Okay. So Caitlyn combos, you should never get hit by an Alistar. Right here, just E away. Just E. And then Leona goes on the Sivir. And if you actually want to take a fight, that's the play. Right? We didn't need both sums. They couldn't really kill you. Vi was coming, so going in on the Sivir like that might have been a bait. Did we see her? Strong color. We didn't see her move into lane. Oh, that's really sneaky. That's spooky. she can be in this bush right here, and they don't have some. She could have walked up into this bush. I don't think she knows that. Oh, HD warding is what Ken would call that. What is happening here? Okay. Whatever. But now they have lane dominance because the wave is falling back onto them. Go on him. He's alone. We just saw the Vi walk away. She's back at tower. Kill that. That's it. That's a kill. Or at least some. Right here. We have vision of him. Kill him. That's a kill. That's a trigger pull. Because we know he's alone. We see... Let's see. So we saw the Vi go away. Right. We literally see her leave. So we assume that she's back in her jungle. And then we see... Yeah. That's a trigger pull. I kill him. That's... Good job zoning him away from the fight, but kill him. Score him. It's levels 4 to 3 too. Yeah. That's an example of a missed opportunity. Where like we're waiting for them to make a mistake and then they get away with it. He got away with a very greedy rotation that he didn't do anything. He just walked over there, shook his butt, and then walked back. So now here's an opportunity. Oh wait, we're getting traded on. Uh-oh. We don't have kill. Okay. 2 thoughts on the fight itself. Flash earlier, guys. If they have kill pressure, once your aftershock pops, you probably need to flash. Also, Alistar is not the exhaust target. Right, he's not doing damage. She's the exhaust target. If you save flash and then you exhausted after she committed her flash, maybe you live. But, what was I gonna say? Before we got engaged upon here. Oh, here's an example where you know that she's just AFK casting her Q, and she's gonna try to trade on you. Both of you are full health. So instead of pressing Q and hitting all these minions, just stand at the casters and try to bait out her cast on Q while you're last hitting the minions. Because if she hits every single minion with 2 hits of Q, even if it hits you once, even if it hits you twice, that's worth it because it breaks the freeze. So you can try to bait bad players into making poor decisions like that. You don't walk up for that. Alistar wants to engage upon you. So conversely, when Alistar goes in on you, if he presses W and Q, you can time your E. It's a hairpin trigger. So she has her spell shield, but if Alistar walks up like that, put your finger on the E and cast it right now. You'll get knocked up, but your E will still go out, and if you time it right, you'll just ignore that CC and you'll zip right to the Sivir. And then, I don't know that we actually win the fight, but you're at least able to take a fight like that. I don't think that's the play in this situation. I think not walking up was the play, and then exhausting the Sivir. You can exhaust while you're CC'd, so you can exhaust while you're knocked up and stuff like that. The only thing you can't is while you're suppressed. Hopefully we don't get dove, we get most of those. Casting Q, Caitlyn farming patterns, that messes up the whole backline. So let's actually watch this. So melee, 2 tower shots, auto. These guys are low. I think you're going for harass again instead of getting the CS. And then you're going for harass again instead of getting the CS, instead of getting the CS, instead of getting the CS, instead of getting the CS. And now, I think that was 6 minions. You would be very even to her if you just didn't worry about harassing. We were talking about this top lane too, where it's just like, sometimes it's better to just farm. And when you say, okay, we need to farm this lane, it's like, yeah, just don't ever touch the enemy champion. Just hit minions, just PvE, and ignore them until they get too aggressive, and then respect them, and then back off. If you wave is frozen here, call for a jungle gank, or try to bait that Sivir Q out. Like, you're just farming, just AFK farming. So here, it should freeze. You might have to trim 1 or 2 casters because she's just, again, they're like AFK and queuing the wave. She's just running it at you, which is, you know, what she should be doing. It's fine, but nice headshot. They get first rotation. This is the rotation mid. Okay, so I don't know their comms. I don't know if they like called it out or not. But with this skirmish fighting here, when you see them both leave, you have two options. One, you can do what we did, just shove as a unit and go. Two, you know they're not in this bush. You just saw them leave. You can send Leona mid to just hold the wave because I don't think that they can dive her. She should have exhaust surely. And you can just send her to hold mid because what ends up happening, she gets 2 uncontested waves and 2 plates on your arguably the most valuable early tower. And then bot lane, we get multiple uncontested waves. We get 1 plate, but Victor, as the wave clear mechanic, obviously Victor's better than Leona, but we only get 1 plate and 1 wave. I think they get 2 plates and 2 waves. Okay, here's the second wave. We're just last hitting. That's not the end of the world. She's just gonna break it immediately. That's just Sivir's thing, right? Okay, probably didn't need exhaust. And honestly, like, I don't know why Leona has exhaust. I don't think you take Leona to exhaust people. You take Leona to kill people. But that's what we have in the game. So let's watch that engage again. Catching them off guard is good. They're mispositioned. If we had jungler or TP available, this is a better play. So just something to think about. It's a good ult. She didn't spell shield. She spell shielded a Q. So I don't think we needed the exhaust. There's just like no way that we kill him. Alistar passive healing for 150 is actually so gross. So again, we didn't get anything from that play. I'm down to try, but did they spend any summoners? No, they just kind of tanked it. We're just farming, man. We just can't force that play. It doesn't get us anything. I'm down to try, but like they're level 7. We just popped 6. Good ult. Alistar is able to peel. We didn't get a Q off, and then we exhaust at the tail end. But yeah, we're done looking at it. But we're just farming. We just can't force anything without outside help. We need the jungler and we need the mid laner. But there's so much activity on the top side of the map that we're just forced to kind of farm under tower here. And at that, we're not doing too terribly. Again, we missed that 5 or 6 minions on that wave, and that's all that we're behind, right? They got 1 kill. But I'm not really too concerned about it. We kind of chose to die in that situation. We walked up, but it's not the end of the world. Right, let's slow this down. Let's look at gold here. So Sivir has 47. I don't know if that's overlapping or not. I think it's total gold and then what you haven't spent yet. So we have a pickaxe in a pocket over here, and we have 1600 from a noon quiver. Noon quiver is 13, 29. That's a lot of gold. Honestly, I think we give that and try to get plates. Kill this wave, get plates, and reset. No, that might get you your mythic, because Xin Zhao can't do anything here. And we're just sitting on vision because we don't have vision denial. We don't have a control word. Oh, we did have a control word. That's okay. Yeah, so those are the kind of dragon plays where I'm just like, we can't contest, right? It's a 4v3. Xin Zhao just backed off and flashed out. Like, we're just watching them. We're on total vision. They have complete vision of us. We're just kind of watching them take dragon and not getting anything for it. So if they're going to get an objective, right, you're allowed to give dragons. You're allowed to give towers. You're allowed to give lives. You're allowed to give CS. It's what are you getting for it, right? Talon level 2 is like crazy strong. Vigor level 2 is like not that good. So what are you gonna get when Talon goes and roams level 5 as an Anivia? More CS because I need more time, and then I'm not gonna die to the jungler or whoever's answering me, whether it's Talon jungler or whatever else, right? That's Cassiopeia. When do I hit my power spikes? Actually, we're watching bot lane. That was there. once I get my Anguish, once I get level 6, I'm level 9, so my first ability, hopefully my E is maxed. Yep, we have 5 points in E. And then we're maxing Q second, very good. In some matchups, you put a couple points in Q early, but not very many. Something like Yasuo, where he can just win while you're E, and you're gonna have 4 seconds where you're not casting E. It's not that bad to put a couple points in Q early, but back to bot lane. Very good, I like the tempered aggression way we out of the ring. Oh, we got it, nice. Yeah, I think pushing the wave, getting a plate, and then coming back with a mythic is the play. Because now she's gonna have her mythic, I think. Oh, she doesn't? Oh, she finished her boots first. What a bozo. Sivir. I guess she's going crit. I guess it's not the end of the world, but like, why? Too far up. Okay, let's watch that in real time. Trap him. Alright. So, we got a lot of damage on the Alistar. Like a lot. We got 1,000 damage and he has 100. Well, he just ulted. So, we like a lot of damage on the Alistar. Imagine if that was on Sivir. So let's see if there's a way to get that damage onto Sivir here. So first of all, when Alistar comes in on the Leona, trap him immediately. Because he has to stand still. W, you can guess that he's gonna go. As soon as he commits here, trap right there, doink. Or trap right there, doink. Right? We E away from the Alistar thinking he's gonna come in on us. If we trap one of these two people and then Q and then really focus the Sivir, Leona can tank that Alistar engage. It's actually bad for him to go on her because they're never going to kill her, right? At full health. They're never going to kill her. And he ults actually too early. So let's imagine a world where we tank the Alistar engage, and since we know it's coming, is the E in range. If you E right now and go on her, you'll get pulled to her through the CC, and then you fight through the Alistar and kill the Sivir. And I think you guys might actually get it, because the only CC that's left is a stun. Now they have flash, they have heal, they have ult, so it's going to be hard to confirm that kill, but focusing the support in this situation is not the play. Even that ult, I think a little bit was indecisive. It hits the Sivir actually, that's really good. Never mind, I changed my mind. But I think what we want to do there is bait the cooldown and then cast that E. I'm literally moving my hand over my shoulder. As you're getting hit up, that sword goes through, it attaches to the Sivir. If she spell shields it, great, because now the Sivir had a trap on the ground and it zones her off, or at least makes her walk a weird way. And then you can finish the fight out. Leona actually has flash, so if the spell shield is down, you can actually ult or just flash Q and then ult. So you can flash in on her Q and then ult to confirm it, because you know she doesn't have spell shield, and you assume if it's a good enough player she's going to flash the ultimate. So you flash Q and then ult, and then there's another trap to place, and then a full Q because of the trap empowerment, and then you didn't use your E because there's just focus, right? Focus the carry. We're watching the line bot lane now. No, I'm just up too far. Okay, so takeaways for me for bot lane. We'll switch to jungle here in a second. When this wave is crashing, it's gonna crash. So we got engaged upon a few times when we don't have minions and they have a wave. This is the time when they want to engage. Not only do they have a subtle level advantage, we know that Leona's ultimate is down. We still have basically all sums from bot lane. I'm speaking from their side. When they clear this wave right here, do not do that. That's really bad. One, Leona isn't in front of you. Brett has the right idea, right? He's under tower, and then it's like, oh crap, my ADC's like too far up. And Alistar is meanwhile licking his chops, right? And then we're forced to go on the tank again, who's happily able, and we exhaust the tank again. Okay, takeaways, bot lane, don't cast Q and stand still when the wave's crashing. If we can win fights, take them, right? Wow, what an insightful freaking thing. But knowing that we're down, just don't look to fight. Stop looking to fight. Just look to farm. How do I empower myself to get ahead, right? Stop looking to fight when you can't take the fight. And then I swear, if you exhaust Alistar, I'm gonna lose my mind. Let's see. Maybe you exhaust this combo. Alistar does do a lot of damage. So he W'd, he Q'd. Okay, so you blocked one damaging ability from the Alistar. Just, there's no reason to exhaust this guy. Unless it's in the beginning, right? And even then, it's still kind of suspect. Okay. Whew. Alright, let's jump to some team fights. We're not going to worry about setup right now. We're looking at the scoreboard. Gold's actually pretty even. If we press O and then X, we see that top lane has the most because of kills, and bot lane has the least because we haven't been able to have any attention. Supports are a little bit behind, but the differential here is actually pretty big. So she's scary, and then mid lane and top lane are basically CC and wave clear bots at this point. Okay, so we try to make a pick. Ulti goes wide. Jin Zhao doesn't have ult somehow. Okay. So why doesn't Jin Zhao have sweeper? It's okay. We need sweepers. We need vision denial. And level 8, level 11, you should have blue. Okay, we're focusing the support again. That's not focusing the support. Flashing in, almost able to get there, but we're just subtly overcommitting. If we had this ultimate, I bet we get it. It's just too sketchy. We don't have our mid laner and they do. It wasn't a poor window, but we just didn't have the team there. If we're going to call that play, we have a control ward there. Where's the TP? Like, we have this control ward. We should be calling for TP right now. TP right now. Doink. 2, 3, 4, 5. Malphite's there, and the fight turns, right? They don't have TP. If we're tracking it, it's kind of hard to track summoners after a certain point. But we had teleport. We don't have. Oh, we don't have Malphite ult. Maybe we just don't take that fight. All right. Maybe it's just another dragon that we give. That said, I think looking for TP plays is the right call. We don't have Malphite ult. We don't have Jin Zhao ult. We have Caitlyn ult, but we don't really do much with that. Excuse me. Alright, let's just kind of watch the minimap here. See how these little pictures are moving? Actually, let's just do an exercise where we're going to watch the minimap. Let's just watch the minimap. So let's see what we can infer. Mid lane has 2 there. Bot lane, Leona is getting wards maybe. But when we see 2 mid, we need 2 mid. Now, there's a couple times where bot lane has gotten mid now. I think this is the second time where it's uncontested. Cassiopeia is fine, wave clearing. But now we know that there are effectively 4 topside, right? So we have 2 options here. I slowed it down. We can try to make the play topside, or we can kind of sack the tower and make the play bot side. Conversely, we can farm and shove mid and try to get that tower in exchange, right? So are we making a play on the ball where they are or off the ball, right? I think bot lane's coming, yep, we're coming back into shove. Vi still messing around with the jungle. We're making a play mid, right? They end up diving the Malphite because there's nobody to relieve him. Jungler makes the play. Let's watch the minimap still. Jungler is hovering, looking. They're like, okay, let's dive him. Then our jungler shows, and they're like, okay, we can do this. That looked like a flash Q, or maybe like a flash ult. still just watching the minimap. There's so much you can learn or infer from the game just from like looking at the minimap and little pictures moving. Let's see. And we're not, actually. We lost the turret top. So they're making a play on the ball, right? They're ahead a little bit, and they're going to get that tower. So what do we answer with? Well, nobody's farming bot. 3 people are mid, and then 1 person died and got a tower. So they're just kind of able to exert their will uncontested on the map at this point. Rarely, like as a rule of thumb, in the mid game, you don't want 2 carries in the same lane. So Cassiopeia is your carry. You're stealing XP and potentially gold from her. The most that you'd want is to match the 2v2. You would not want 3 people sharing XP in a lane while one lane is left unfarmed. That's just like a rule of thumb. Just like get out of my lane kind of a thing. So we TP'd in bot to look for something. Victor's farming uncontested in the top wave. We're making a play in the jungle. Let's actually watch this play. We're still just trying to kill this Alistar, and it ain't working. And then top lane is uncontested. I don't know why we TP'd bot. It's fine to fish for a play there. We had ulti, but... Hey, overextension. Very nice. Careful on the emote flash. What's happening? She's just emptying. She's just falling. It's fine. That's good. Can we do dragon? Gonna try. Uh-oh, we're clumping up. Ooh, and Sivir takes a huge chunk. Victor's gonna get another huge burst here. And you're just, yeah, very difficult. So, in this situation, there's 4 people fighting. But, so we have numbers, like, we have even numbers. Vi's not there yet. But the problem is that Jinjiao's fighting the dragon. Caitlyn's autoing the dragon. Leona's trying to zone off the support, and then Cassiopeia's low on mana. So we have 2 people fighting the dragon, one person fighting the support, and then Caitlyn gets caught. And so now it's a great ultimate, but we're just out of mana. We can't sustain this fight. Right, we did get the dragon, but we got wiped for it. If they were a good team, they would go to Baron. Alright, Malphite. No, there's nothing you can do here. Just like actively nothing you can do. Yeah, that's just, there's nothing you can do. You just have to do that. This is a good example of when, like, when I say, like, you have to give objectives, it's like, okay, what can you do against 5 people? It's just sad, you know what I mean? Like, team spirit, I appreciate going down with the ship, but there's nothing that you can do there. So you just have to try to eke whatever small advantage you can elsewhere. It's kind of pointless to go in and just give them 300 more gold. It feels bad to just be like, well, they get Baron, but that's the game sometimes. You have to be willing to give objectives that you have virtually no chance of securing. And if you look at the score, it's like, okay, we have 2 dragons, we got wiped, and we lost Baron for one of them. So I don't know if that's worth it, but it's 2-2 on dragons. But we've taken every single dragon fight, even the one where we were just kind of like watching behind and we didn't get in a fight. We were at dragon every single time a dragon was up, and we only got 2 of them, and we died and lost Baron to get one of them. So I think we need to practice giving up objectives and farming. Nothing really to do there. Ooh, that feels bad. Nobody was there, no help, no love for my poor little Caitlyn. So close. Oh, you were ulting. Oh, got him! Okay, oh, no, we're just walking. Maybe we didn't see, maybe we were off screen. Oh no, he walked into it. No. Wait, you have flash and heal. Maybe, I don't know what your first person screen looked like. Right here, just keep walking forward. Just walk to your team. Just walk to your team. Maybe you didn't see, maybe you didn't see. And then you like try to dodge, but there's nothing that you can do. He's just gonna eat you. So unless you like E and then flash over the wall, like you E to get closest to the wall as possible and then flash, like you're probably better to walk to the team. because the team is very angry. It was a good flash. I don't think we ever need to ult the Cho'Gath, ever. But he did have a good flash. Nice. Damage still goes through. Kiting. It's actually really careful about fighting past waves. Very nice. So that's really good. We're TPing in. We don't have anything to give. I don't agree with that TP again. But hey, stop the push. So nice. That's actually a really successful Baron defense. They took a pretty stupid fight and we were able to get away with it. I swear to everything holy. If we fight the Alistar, it's what he wants. Don't give in to him. Okay. Also, as far as Jinzhou combos go, your Q, 1, you're like out of mana. 2, your Q gets seconds, 2-3 seconds off of your other cooldowns. So if you don't use your cooldowns and you use your Q, you're just hosed. There's nothing you can do. But there's no reason to engage on the Alistar there. We don't gain anything from that, and you can't kill him because we have very little damage and we went crit. No big deal. Another dragon. We're taking 100% of the dragon fights. Even though our jungler... Oh, he's back in time, I guess. No sweeper, though. Right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like so hard to outsmite a Cho'Gath, it turns out. So it dies at 200. That's actually a pretty poor combination of Smite and Feast. Again, we're not in Challenger here, thankfully. I wouldn't know how to help Challenger players. I really want to help myself. No, secretly, all of my motivation actually for helping myself in doing these, as well as y'all, is how do we die less, how do we take smarter fights, and I have the advantageous, literally bird's eye view, right? I can see everybody's, I can see the whole map. Right, that's unfair, and I'm not pushing any buttons, I'm just like spectating. So please know, like, don't get down on yourself. That, like, man, now that I see this, it's like pretty straightforward. Like, how do I have a very particular perspective, which is incredibly advantaged, and I get to wind back, slow it down, think about different things. I literally have time to do the math, right, on resistances. Like, when does that ever happen in game? When you're walking from base and you can click on somebody and see. At this point, I think they're just too healthy, too scaled. Oop, nice combo. Oh, he's out of mana. Yeah. So, in my mind, again, with that advantaged perspective, we won't even talk about the fight. Now that it's a 2v4, if we see Vi coming down to get that, just jump on her. Just like go 2v1 her, accept that you're going to lose this 4v2, just go kill her and then peel back, right? Instead of watching them take this dragon fight, inhibitor, instead of watching them take this objective, like try to get something where you can't. Like, you know that this is going to fall. Try to get something over here. And then wave clear. Very good cast on the wave. Oh, they TP'd in the circles. A little early on the E, that's fine. A little left on the E, or the right, excuse me. We'll chase them out of base, that's probably it. So we don't have Malphite ult. What are the Malphite items at? Pretty danky. This is a fine build, but I don't think it helps us. 3 items, 2 items, Locket, Bramble, Mobies. When we're down, I don't know that Mobies are the best choice. How many times did you roam this game? We're just farming and then they broke the base and so they probably going again, fighting. More pop than fighting. Trying to get something out of nothing, and then we're just that's my game. Okay. It's hard from that point, and honestly, the reason why I harp so much on laning phase, we watched the minimap for like a good 5 minutes. The reason why I harp so much on laning phase is because, everything in this universe is causal, but the result, it just goes away. Okay, that's fine. Every game is the result of every laning phase, right? There's more stuff that happens, but yeah, if we just shore up our laning phases and be willing to concede objectives as long as we have something to trade for, I think that's beyond ideal. I don't know if we've talked about it like this. Actually, I should use a different color. So in this game state, let's say that this tower is still up, but let's say that this tower is gone. We'll do mid lane in a second, but the same applies to mid or bot and top, right? The long lanes, right? This is a straight line, so that, I think, if you like take this line, swing it up, it goes a little bit higher than my screen. It ends up going to like right here, I think, maybe a little bit further, just like visually. The long lanes over here, you know, it's the width of the base longer. So in these long lanes, let me get some good colors here. Green, depending on the vision, I'll say this, but I'm gonna overlap it. So depending on the vision that you have, these are your farming zones. And then if this tower's down, I'll just do dots. If this tower's down, right? So basically what this means is that we're gonna go ahead and color this in because it's fun. We'll talk about where to ward and stuff too, but these are your safe places to farm. We'll use blue for wards here. So if you're going to farm safely in this green area, this is an entrance to the jungle. This is an entrance to the jungle, right? That's pretty much the only ways to get, I mean, if you have like a dashy champion, we'll give it a little dotted line. So there are 3 major bushes. If you have vision here, you can pretty confidently feel safe to farm to about right here. That maybe extends the green zone. If you don't have vision here, but you have a ward here, then you can feel safe to farm in this zone. And if you have vision here or here, then you're like super safe because ideally you have a control ward here and you have a control ward here, right? If you don't have a control ward here, you have a vision ward here and a control ward here. And what this does is poor little Caitlyn, this is ideal. You have just a long little freeze, right, with your little rifle. It's like a bazooka. She's farming a wave and it's frozen right about here. Hopefully Leona and Jinzhao are securing, if there's Dragon up, right, if there's Herald up, Leona and Jinzhao, you don't want to leave your little ADC alone, but when we're behind in the mid game, because that's what this state is, we haven't taken their tower, but they've taken ours. When we're behind in the mid game, you usually end up sending your support and your mid laner here because the support and mid laner, at least the mid laner, if not the support and mid laner, if not the support and mid laner and ADC and jungler are going to come in, right? So as soon as this tower falls, if there's no objective up, you can potentially have a 4-man mid, so you want to watch out for that. And the bot lane actually already showed that they were willing to rotate up, right? Both of them actually went mid very early on, and I think they were on top of those mid lane rotations. So mid support farms, Caitlyn freezes as best as she can. Once the wave kind of naturally pushes back up to here, maybe the support comes and helps her push it to tower. Once we bounce this wave, that means all our minions are underneath their tower, however many there are. Then we have the option to either rotate through the river, back in a bush, or go back in a lane and back, or rotate behind, right? This is the stock and standard rotation. You want to catch a wave here. As soon as you see aggression, you have the choice. Do I farm and slow push, or do I just clear the wave that I'm on and rotate? Do I slow push back and then rotate? Because it's honestly not that much faster. Like the triangle to go from here to here versus here to here, it's actually pretty close. This one's shorter and you have to spend 8 seconds to back. But if you have a huge purchase and you can wait about 20 seconds to get to this mid lane positioning, backing might be the best option. There are a lot of arrows now. Let's see how many I can get rid of. But for ADC in the disadvantageous position of your tower's down and theirs isn't, usually you farm till about right here. If you don't have help, you just set the wave free. Maybe you lose one wave and then it hits the tower. Ideally, you can crash it fully. And then you have your options of dangerous rotation to take a dragon fight, safer rotation to stave off aggression, or you can reset, walk back, reset if you're afraid, and then go mid, or the wave's coming back to you, so you have your choice here, right? Maybe you even get called up because there's a herald fight, right? But you're off that reset either way. I think that was the only thing that we haven't really talked about is these zones. Just keep in mind that in laning phase 2, these zones hold true. So if this tower's still up, this is your safe, this is your ideal farming zone. This is your, let's move it back, whoops, let's move it back just a little bit. And then this is your like ideal farming zone, where you're taking fights and skirmishes and stuff, just outside, excuse me, of your ideal. And then anytime you're past, let's say right here, depending on the jungler, anytime you're past right here, you should be feeling in your bones like I'm not safe. Like I'm super not safe. If you have vision here, great, but what happens if there's a blast cone and they're right here? Vision did you all good, but this is the same distance and they can head you off, right? You're just less safe up this far. Conversely, if the enemy team is not safe, right, you can actually call for a jungle gank and punish them. Now, there was a whole bunch of hubbub happening in the top side of the map, so we didn't actually get any jungle pressure at all down here. Not to fault Alston or anything, but that's something to maybe look for in future games, saying, hey, we need a little bit of influence. Vi didn't do too much, but she wasted time on that lane gank. But the times that they're just like pushing this wave, if we can get even just a relief of pressure, like, hey, we're probably not going to kill him, but if you could just like on your path down here, if you could just show gank and then use your first rotation and then just like know that you're going to leave, that would be stellar. Just to like get the freeze or get the wave safely. It's called a pressure gank. It happens the most in mid. So let's use different colors here. If we have like maybe like 4 enemy minions and like 6 good minions, this wave is going to slow push into the tower. But let's say there's like a Yasuo or Orianna or something that like can really stand up to and fight for this freeze here. And let's say we're like a Vigor or Anivia can probably clear that wave on her own. But let's say I'm a Anivia, but I'm out of mana, right? Another great use of the jungler is obviously, hopefully sweeper, so there's no vision, right? We need to make sure there's no vision. But even if there is vision, just have the jungler come up, push the wave to tower with the jungler, and then I, as the mid laner, take the reset. So that's also a pressure gank. You can call for your jungler to push your wave to tower, either with or without you, hopefully with. A good jungler is just going to set it up to where you last hit. Think of like when you're support and you're hard pushing a wave, you like get the minions low, but you don't take them. A good jungler won't take them. Well, let's say a kind jungler won't take them. But sometimes if it's like a Karthus jungler or something, and you're like Anivia, you're like, yo, just take my farm. I need to reset this wave, and then reset, and then go back, right? Because Karthus will lick his chops, you know what I mean? Diana, super scaling junglers that need to get to 6. Dope, right? They want that. So if you don't have TP or you don't want to use TP, this is another great pressure gank, right? 1, to establish a freeze, 2, to break a freeze, and then 3, honestly, like if it's a Gnar Renekton top lane or something where it's kind of a Razor's Edge matchup, having your Vi or your Jinjiao come in and just take a trade on somebody, just like trade because you can go back into your jungle and sustain, is a super useful gank too. All of these options are no kill ganks. If you get a kill, great, but that's not the motivation. You don't always have to get a kill to have a successful gank. In fact, we saw one mid, let me get rid of all this trash now. We saw one mid where the Victor was right about here. Maybe he was like right here. Jinja had a great gank. The Victor flashed away, and then we flashed to follow, and we actually got double killed right here. If we just take the flash with that no kill gank, we take the win, keep pathing, keep farming, and double back. That's a great way to establish pressure in the lane, especially on a transition like that, because now you have flash next time, right? And you have 5 minutes to set up a gank. You might even get 6 in that 5 minutes, right? Because that's the flash window. You got his flash, say, okay, see you in 5 minutes or less. You know what I mean? I'm coming back. You don't have to force it. You don't have to force it right then. You know what I mean? All right, I've talked long enough. Sorry we didn't win that one, but a lot of stuff to unpack, and frankly, it was fun to watch all the same. We still had some good fights, and some sneaky maneuvering around Rift Herald, which we talked about at length. So, all right, I probably won't do game 2 today, but I'll see you guys on the Rift.